I like to think of attention as a form of value, and that's because when we give our attention to something, our energy naturally follows our attention. And what I mean by energy is our mental, emotional, and physical resources. And really, if you were to bring awareness into your body right now and just into your hands, you can feel a subjective sense of changing sensations and just overall flow of energy. And when we give our attention to something, that energy is following our attention. The first point is focus on where your attention goes and what you invest energy into. Attention is a form of value. So when you give your attention to something, this is actually playing a very deep constructive role in the outcome of your life. If you give, just for example, 10 hours of attention to social media, just scrolling on Instagram mindlessly versus 10 hours of attention to reading books. This is just a very radical example, a very polarizing example. Obviously, 10 hours of books is going to give you significantly better results than scrolling mindlessly on Instagram. But also, we can just notice this on a very micro level in our life. When you're stuck in a junk food habit, or if you're stuck just kind of feeling lazy, notice what your attention is going to in those times. When you're stuck eating junk food, notice that your attention is stuck in the tasty sensations in your mouth, or looking at the junk food, or purchasing it. And there's a whole sort of routine that goes along with this. Like, you go to the store, you buy the junk food, you put it in your mouth, your attention is stuck in your mouth, and you keep doing it. So really, at any one point, you can shift your attention to something different and begin to break this routine. And really, breaking habits and routines happens slowly over time. Change takes time, so be patient. But really, where your attention goes is going to significantly impact your ability to create the life that you actually want. Because like I said, attention has a very constructive force, or is a very constructive force in our life. Focus on how that thing makes you feel. Determine the value you get out of it. What I mean by this is, when you're giving your attention to something, notice how that thing makes you feel. When you're giving your attention to 3 hours of TV, notice how it makes you feel. When you're giving your attention to 3 hours of mindless social media, notice how it makes you feel. When you're giving your attention to a job that you hate, notice how it makes you feel. Versus noticing how you feel when you're building the business that you really want to build, when you're making the video that you really want to make, when you're with the person that you really want to be with, when you're eating the food that really makes you feel energized. Just basically notice where you actually are applying your mental resources, and then connect that to your emotional state, your actual, just the feeling in your body. And you'll notice that when you give your attention to things that are valuable and energizing, you will simply feel better. Whereas when you are stuck in habits of giving your attention to things that leech your mental, emotional, and physical resources, you will feel worse. It's actually quite simple. Moving on, we have slowly cut things out of your life and fill up the empty space in your life with something new. Remove what doesn't serve and contribute value to you. Change takes time, so be patient. When you identify something in your life that you keep giving your attention to that isn't serving you, slowly and continuously shift your attention away from it. If you're stuck in a bad habit, shift your attention away from it, and you'll probably find that if you're really stuck, you'll go right back to it, and then just do it again. And slowly and gradually begin to break this by paying attention to where your focus is actually going. Notice that if you're stuck in literally any kind of bad habit, you are continuously creating it because you are pouring attention into it. And there's a whole sort of sense of self that is associated with that routine, with that habit. There's a whole sense of, I am the one that is stuck in this habit. There's a whole sense of like identification with this whole pattern. There's a whole sense of like, I am the one doing this pattern. And you want to just kind of break out of this. You want to break out of that identity. You want to shift that identity. You want to shift this continuous pouring of your attention into something really different. You just want to shift your attention. You want to shift your actual self into something different. This is going to create different results. So slowly cut it out of your life. You can't change too fast, but also you want to actually be serious enough to make the change. And basically, just notice how you feel based off what you give your attention to. Notice how you feel on a moment-to-moment basis and where your attention is going. If it's stuck in a negative thought, or if it's stuck in mindless entertainment, notice how that makes you feel versus when you're pursuing a meaningful goal, like fixing your diet, fixing exercise routines, reading a book, building a business that you really love, or investing in relationships that you really care about. Notice how that makes you feel. And continuously pour attention into the things that are genuinely valuable and just contribute energy to your life, and slowly cut out the things that don't. Fairly simple. Moving on is notice distractions and cut them out. This is the biggest point that I probably can make in this video. And really, the whole world is just utterly loaded with distractions. The TV's on full blast, Instagram, social media, your friends calling you on the phone, text messages, videos with all the pop-ups and whatever. There's so many distractions everywhere, and you need to view a lot of these things as distractions. If it is not contributing value to your life, you need to notice it as a distraction. It's sucking your energy, it's sucking your attention. You need to very deeply shift to the things that contribute to you. And you are the one who's doing this. You are the one who is really in charge of this. And you need to just kind of break out of the mindless habit of giving like a iPhone screen your attention right away when you wake up. You wake up and then right away you grab your phone and you're scrolling. Just like cut that out. Instead, if you just replace that with like a glass of water and some fruit and go for a jog, you're far better off. And then some meditation, you're far better off. So notice that your habits are the byproduct of what you've poured yourself into time and time again. It's what you've invested yourself into time and time again. And then you kind of get stuck in these grooves and you have to slowly get yourself out of them and notice what they're actually doing to your health. So be honest about when you are distracted and when you are investing your attention into something that doesn't contribute value. You need to be honest about when you are distracted and notice that yes, you actually are distracted, that the majority of things that pull at your attention are probably meaningless to you if you're quite honest. A lot of the things that you spend your time doing probably don't really matter that much to you at all. Like the next video that you watch on YouTube, does it really matter? Did this video even really matter to you? If it didn't, you can just click right off and go do something that actually mattered to you. Like I would highly recommend it. So basically just be honest about what you're actually doing. Does this contribute value? Does it not? Am I distracted? Am I not? Am I pursuing a meaningful goal? Or am I not? That's it for this video. Take it easy.